Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to our morning Bhagavatam class. Today we start a new chapter, beautiful chapter, Canto 1, chapter 10, verse 1. And I just forgot the title of the chapter. Mother Gita Publisher, you can correct me. I think it's about Lord Krishna leaving Dwarka.
Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka.
For Dwarka. Okay. So that is the name of the chapter. So we're going to get into a really nice, beautiful pastimes, lessons for us to learn. Please dive in and listen attentively. The class will be given by Mother Gita from ISKCON Atlanta. And it's all yours, Mother. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva. Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahams Paribrajakacharya Stotra Srimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा जद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। संवेद भक्तवृंद की जय। निताई गौ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So we are going to study Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka, text number 1. Shaunaka Vacha Hatva Swartika Spridha Atataino Yudhishthiro Dharma Vritam Varishtataha Sahanuche Pratyavaruddha Bhojanaha Katham Pravata Kim Akarashit Tataha Shaunaka Vacha Atva Swartika Spridha Atataino Yudhishthiro Dharma Vritam Varishtataha Sahanujay Pratyavaruddha Bhojanaha Katham Pravartaha Kim Akarashit Tataha Shaunaka Vacha Hatva Swartha Spridha Atataino Yudhishthiro Dharma Vritam Varishtataha Sahanujay Pratyavaruddha Bhojanaha Katham Pravartaha Kimakarashit Tataha Shaunakaha Uvacha Shaunaka inquired Hatva after killing Swarikta the legal inheritance Spridaha desiring to usurp Atatainaha the aggressor Yudhishthiraha King Yudhishthir Dharma Bhritam of those who strictly follow religious principles. Varishtataha, greatest. Saha Anujayaha, with his younger brothers. Pratyavarudha, restricted. Bhojanaha, acceptance of necessities. Katham, how? Pravrataha, engaged. Kim, what? Akarashit, executed, tataha, thereafter. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shaunaka Muni asked, after killing his enemies who desired to usurp his rightful inheritance, how did the greatest of all religious men, Maharaj Yudhishthir, assisted by his brothers, rule his subjects? Surely he could not freely enjoy his kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. Purport. Maharaj Yudhishthir was the greatest of all men of religion. Thus, he was not at all inclined to fight with his cousins for the sake of enjoying the kingdom. He fought for the right cause because the kingdom of Hastinapur was his rightful inheritance, and his cousins wanted to usurp it for themselves. He fought, therefore, for the right cause under the guidance of Lord Sri Krishna, but he could not enjoy the results of his victory because his cousins were all killed in the fight. He therefore ruled over the kingdom as a matter of duty, assisted by his younger brothers. The inquiry was important for Shaunaka Rishi, who wanted to know about the behavior of Maharaj Yudhishthir when he was at ease to enjoy the kingdom. Translation. Shaunaka Muni asked, after killing his enemies who desired to usurp his rightful inheritance, how did the greatest of all religious men, Maharaj Yudhishthir, assisted by his brothers, rule his subjects? Surely he could not freely enjoy his kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmalitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So I was actually reading the transcript of Srila Prabhupada's lecture on this verse. And he commented that Yudhishthir Maharaj was also known as Dharmaraj because he followed the religious principles very strictly. But now we see, just before the passing away of Bhishma, Yudhishthir Maharaj was lamenting. What was the lamentation for? He thought that because of him, just because to enthrone him, 640 million people were killed in the battlefield of Kurukshetra in that Mahabharat war. Even though the battle was for the religious cause, it was a religious fight, it was in a religious place called Kurukshetra. It wasn't whimsical at all. It wasn't that one day Yudhishthira Maharaj decided, oh, I feel like fighting, so let me go kill all my cousins. No, it was a religious fight. And most importantly, it was the will of Krishna. And it was actually considered Dharma Yudh, a religious fight which was sanctioned by Krishna himself. That's very, very important. We need to understand that sanction of Krishna is very important. Without the sanction of Krishna, why is Krishna in everyone's heart as the super soul? Sarvasya charam hidi sanivishto. Krishna says, I'm situated in everyone's heart. To do what? To guide us, to show us the way, to sanction whatever we want to do. It all depends on Krishna's will. So here in this today's verse, the chapter that we have started about, Krishna leaving for Dwarka. So Shaunaka Rishi, he's inquiring about Yudhishthira Maharaj. He wants to know what is the behavior of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Was Yudhishthira Maharaj free from all worries? Was he relaxed to enjoy his kingdom after he won the Mahabharat war? So these are the questions. And here we can see, just like Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Prashna. One needs to inquire from the spiritual master, because this human form of life is not just to eat, sleep, and be merry. It is for inquiry. Athatho Brahma Jigyasa. We need to inquire. So here Shaunaka Rishi is setting an example. He's inquiring from his guru. He wants to know about Yudhishthira Maharaj. He wants to know, how did Yudhishthira Maharaj behave, especially after the war, especially after millions of people who were killed and Yudhishthira Maharaj became the king. So Srila Prabhupada explains in his lecture that Yudhishthira Maharaj was the greatest of all religious men, greatest. So there is great, greater, greatest. Is there something greatest? No, it's just the greatest. That's it. That's top. So he was the greatest. And he was a Dharmaraj, followed religious principles very strictly. So being a Dharmaraj, he would never tell a lie. That's also one of the qualities of a Brahmana, is always honest, doesn't tell a lie. But when Krishna asked Yudhishthira Maharaj to tell a lie in the war, he asked him, go to Dronacharya and tell him your son Ashwathama is dead. Yudhishthira Maharaj couldn't do that because he is Dharmaraj. How can I tell a lie? He didn't realize that Krishna is asking him to tell a lie. If Krishna asked him to tell a lie, he should have done it immediately. That is dharma. But instead, what did he say? He said very softly, an elephant named Ashwathama is dead. So you see, an elephant named was very soft. So Dronacharya couldn't hear. But what Dronacharya heard? Ashwathama is dead. So that Dronacharya becomes very weak and it's very easy to kill him. But we see here, Srila Prabhupada explains that when Krishna tells you to tell a lie, do it immediately. That is dharma. Dharma is given by Krishna himself. It's not that dharma is manufactured. Dharma means instructions of Krishna. But in Kali Yuga, we see so many dharmas. Mental concoctions, mental speculations. No, dharma is given by Krishna himself, and dharma are the orders of Krishna. He gives us, just like in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Sarva dharman parityagya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tuam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami ma sucha. He says, abandon all varieties of religion, sarva dharman, all, and just surrender unto me. And what is the result? He says, I'll remove all your past sinful reactions. The slate will be clean. Karma will be zero. And then we can start leading a karma-free life. So what is the real dharma? To surrender unto Krishna. Just like, here I live in Atlanta, in the state of Georgia, and we have state laws. And the citizens are expected to follow the state laws. It's not that the citizens can manufacture some state laws. No, it's given from the government. Similarly, dharma. Krishna's government is the topmost government. And he's the one who gives the dharma. He's the one who gives the orders, and that cannot be manufactured. And Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna consciousness movement is that dharma of Krishna, that dharma that has been given to us by Krishna. And what is that dharma? Yare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Whomsoever we meet, we see, we give them the knowledge about Krishna, talk about Krishna, educate others, give knowledge about Krishna. And this is given to us by this of course was given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is he? He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu more than 500 years ago, and that is dharma. He gave us the dharma, and what we need to do is just follow it. That's it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to show us how to go back to the spiritual world, how to go back to Godhead, which is the highest perfection of life. People generally don't know that. Many people don't even know what they want in life. They don't have a goal in life. It's like, there is a saying, simple living, high thinking. But in their case, simply living. No goal in life. Just keep living. Just live to eat. Not eat to live. No. So it's not easy, but in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, we get those instructions or directions. How we can understand dharma, how we can understand orders of Krishna, how we can follow them. See? And Krishna, 5,000 years ago, he came and showed us how to surrender to him. Then he again came more than 500 years ago to show us how to surrender, how to become a devotee. Now, when Krishna came as in the form of a devotee more than 500 years ago, Prabhupada says just because he came as a devotee doesn't mean he becomes a servant. He still remains the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he gave a very nice example. He said, if I tell my disciple, I massage on him and I show him how to give a massage, does that mean that I become his servant? No, I'm just training him. I'm just showing him how. See, so when Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just because he came as a devotee doesn't mean he was a servant. He was still the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here we see Yudhishthira Maharaj, he definitely did not want to fight. He was not inclined to fight. Why? Because his cousins were on the other side, his guru, his grandfather. And he was thinking, if I kill them, how will I enjoy the kingdom? I'll be without them. It'll be just we 5 brothers. What are we going to enjoy? He was feeling, just before Bhishma Dev left his body, he was feeling very morose, very sorry, that he was feeling guilty that because of me, millions of people were killed just to enthrone me. And he felt it was so sinful. And that is why Krishna took Yudhishthira Maharaj to Bhishma Dev, who was lying on a bed of arrows, so that Bhishma Dev could make Yudhishthira Maharaj understand that this was all the will of the Lord. Krishna wanted all this. So that Yudhishthira Maharaj doesn't feel guilty. He understands that this is something that was sanctioned by Krishna. So it is said that Yudhishthira Maharaj, he felt so sinful, and to counteract that, he fasted. He started undergoing prayashchit, which is atonement. You see? Who would do that? Someone who is greatest of all religious men. Many times people do something wrong, something sinful, and forget about it. There's no prayashchit, there's no atonement, and they just keep moving forward and committing some more sinful activities and then continue. But no, not with Yudhishthira Maharaj. He was greatest of all religious men. And he understood that he fought for the right cause. You see, as in the verse we see, and even in the purport, that the Kauravas who were, opposite side, Duryodhana and his brothers and all, they wanted to usurp the kingdom. They wanted to be the king, even though Yudhishthira Maharaj was the legal heir. He had that legal inheritance. He was definitely supposed to be the king. But what did Duryodhana do? He said, no, I will not allow that. And who helped him in this decision? His own father, blind father Dhritarashtra. Blind materially, blind spiritually. As a father, he couldn't even guide his sons in the right direction. As a parent, he didn't give them proper guidance. Parents are supposed to be the guru for the children, spiritual master. You see? So here we see that Yudhishthira Maharaj, he fought for the right cause, but under the guidance of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said, Prabhupada says, that Yudhishthira Maharaj was a Krishna Bhakta. It feels so good to hear that. He was a Krishna Bhakta. In fact, all Pandavas were Krishna Bhakta. And Prabhupada says that Yudhishthira Maharaj was the foremost personality. And he agreed to fight with his cousins because Krishna said so. Krishna wanted him to fight. And that is why he decided to fight. Now we see in the Bhagavad Gita, before Krishna starts speaking the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna is morose, just like Yudhishthira Maharaj. He's lamenting. He's very sad. And he gives so many reasons to Krishna for not fighting. He said, it is better, that I go and beg. I go, to some secluded place or something, or take sannyas, all those things. But what did Krishna do? He condemned that. And he started speaking the Bhagavad Gita to him, explaining to him. He did not force Arjuna to follow. No, he gave him the knowledge. Krishna does not force anyone to worship him or chant his holy name. No, he does not force. He gives a chance, but then the choice is ours. Like in Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, he says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishto matah smriti jnanam apohanam cha. He says, I am there in the heart. From me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. But the choice is ours. What do we want? Do we want to remember him? Do we want to forget him? Or do we want his knowledge? He gives us an opportunity. But what we do with that opportunity is upon us. And then, based on our choices, we have to face the consequences. So we see from the Bhagavad Gita as well as in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we can clearly understand that Krishna is the ultimate goal of life. Vedescha sarver aham eva vedyo vedantakrit vedavid evacha. Krishna is the compiler of the Vedas. He is the one who is to be known from the Vedas. So the purpose of all this knowledge is that Krishna is our ultimate goal. He is our leader and we should strictly follow him. In fact, if we see in our lives, we need a leader in every aspect of life. Whether we want to learn singing, music, dancing, karate, software, anything that we want to learn, we definitely need a teacher, a leader. And when we get a teacher, a bona fide teacher, it behooves us to follow that teacher if we really want to be successful. And here we all know that Srila Prabhupada is the Jagat Guru. He is our leader. He has given us the whole process of Krishna consciousness. All we need to do is follow it. He's given it to us on a golden platter. All we need to do is just follow. And to achieve perfection, a leader is a must. A spiritual master is very essential. And Krishna is the perfect leader. In fact, we see Srila Prabhupada and the spiritual masters coming down in the disciplic succession. They are all perfect leaders. They are all there to help us, to guide us. So we see here that even though Yudhishthira Maharaj, he won the battle, he could not enjoy. Why? Because his cousins were all killed in the battle. And this was even Arjuna's dilemma, as we see in Bhagavad Gita. He said, how will I enjoy when my relatives will be all dead? How? With whom will I enjoy? Right? But Krishna's instructions helped Arjuna to understand that a religious war, a fight which is based on religion, is required. And top of that was Krishna wanted it. Krishna wanted this war to take place. It was his will. So Arjuna understood and he fought the battle. And wherever Krishna is, there is victory. Krishna was on the side of the Pandavas, and so they were victorious. So here we see that Bhishma Dev, before leaving the body, he pacified Yudhishthira Maharaj. Not just saying, I told you so, so you follow it. No, he explained to him, he gave him the knowledge. And actually, Krishna wanted Bhishma Dev to enlighten Yudhishthira Maharaj. Krishna could have easily done that. But Krishna wanted to show, look at my pure devotee in such a painful condition, lying on the bed of arrows, is still sound in mind, can still preach Krishna consciousness to everyone. So we see that after the war, we have heard that Yudhishthira Maharaj, he became the king, but he ruled the kingdom only as a matter of duty. Not that he became a king and he wanted to enjoy all the opulence. No, he just did that as a matter of duty. Because he was still feeling sad that because of him, so many people lost their lives. So from this verse, what do we learn? We learn that Yudhishthira Maharaj was the greatest of all religious men. He was not inclined to fight with his cousins, but he fought for the right cause, not to enjoy. He didn't think, let me fight, let me kill them, and then after that I will enjoy the kingdom. No, he fought for the right cause. And he took guidance from Krishna, and he knew that this war was sanctioned by Krishna. And that is the reason he fought that war. He did not think that, okay, I am going to enjoy the results of this victory. No. Of course, he was very sad that his cousins were dead. And that is why he ruled the kingdom just as a matter of duty. And we see towards the end of the verse, it says, not to freely enjoy kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. No. This whole movement that Srila Prabhupada started is called International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We need to become conscious of Krishna. How? By taking on the knowledge from Srila Prabhupada's books like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many books. So the whole process is to train the senses and the mind to purify the consciousness. Because until and unless our consciousness is purified, our actions are not going to be pure. If the senses are not under control, then obviously there's going to be chaos. So here he's saying that Yudhishthira Maharaj did not want to freely enjoy the kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. No. So if somehow or the other we can follow the process given to us by Srila Prabhupada, then we will come to a stage when we will be purified, when all our consciousness will be so pure that there will be only Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. That doesn't mean that we give up our family and jobs and everything. No, we will still be, doing what we have been doing, but only with pure Krishna consciousness, restricted consciousness, which means following the rules and regulations, not just randomly living, not just randomly eating whatever. No, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that for a perfect yogi, it's very important. In chapter 6, he says in Dhyana Yoga, for a perfect yogi, it's very important he doesn't eat too much or to eat too little, does not sleep too much or sleep too little. So there has to be some balance. There has to be some restriction. And that we can learn from the scriptures. The verse again, Shanaka Muni asked, after killing his enemies who desired to usurp his rightful inheritance, how did the greatest of all religious men, Maharaj Yudhishthir, assisted by his brothers, rule his subjects? Surely he could not freely enjoy his kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. So I'll end here if anyone has any questions or comments. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mother Gita, for such a wonderful class, and especially beginning a chapter, a whole new chapter is always exciting to see what's in store and what's going to come up in the upcoming verses so that we all can learn more. I would like to ask devotees if you have any questions, please do, comments, clarification, please do raise your hand, or you can just jump right in. I'm just going to go down this list so that I don't miss anyone. Let me see here. Mother, I have a question, and the question is, in the beginning of your lecture, you were mentioning how it's so important. You were talking about Maharaj Yudhishthira and how everything he did, he just listened and followed what Krishna says. How can we know, Mother, in our everyday life, in our goals, or whatever it is, that it is sanctioned by the Lord? That is the question that I always get questioned. And that is a question that I think many devotees struggle, because they just think it's sanctioned by the Lord because it happened. But then after a while, then it goes down. I'm like, oh, wait, but then they get all puzzled.
That was my question too in the early days. And my spiritual master explained it in this way. He said that first of all, we have to make sure that it is what we think is sanctioned by Krishna is according to the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, the Trinity. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Guru, the spiritual master. Sadhu is the acharyas in the parampara, and Shastra are the scriptures. So if after seeing that, okay, making sure that this is what all three of them say, if we still have a doubt, then we should consult a senior devotee and, explain, okay, this is what I think is sanctioned by Krishna. This is what I want to do, just to make sure it's not the mind that's playing the tricks, that it is genuinely, a sanction of the Lord. So this is the response I had got. I hope that helps.
Yes, Mother, very much. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah. Any other questions from devotees? This is a very nice class that we can learn about Maharaj Yudhishthira, how everything he did it because he followed the instructions of the Lord, not just Guru, but of Krishna. Mm-hmm. So, and without any attachments. So that was a pretty amazing realization for me, is to actually see, wow, he had no attachment whatsoever. Mother, if I'm not mistaken, I think he only had one wife too, right? Draupadi?
Yes, that's what I've heard. Yes.
Yeah.
Arjuna had Subhadra.
Yeah, and Chitrangada, I think, and on Anulupi or something, it's said in the Mahabharata.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I think Yudhishthira was the only one that had only one, and he was very much a Dharmaraj.
Yes.
For sure.
I haven't read the whole Mahabharata, so I don't have these details, who is whose wife and
Yeah, my
yeah.
daughter read it, the book
Right.
that is written by Krishna Dharma Prabhu,
Okay.
the big fat one, and I think at the back it had the chart or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's how, yeah, she told me. I'm like, oh, okay, learn something new.
Yeah, maybe you can send me a picture of that.
I will. Yes,
I can
mother.
also
I have
learn.
the book in my house. Okay, she's correcting me. She said his fourth wife is Lupi. She even remembers that.
Whose
I
fourth
would
wife? Whose fourth wife?
Ulupi.
Whose? Arjuna's?
Arjuna's,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Arjuna's, yes. Yeah. And yeah, so yeah, she still has the book, mother. I'll have her take a picture and send the
Sure. Thank you.
picture to you. Yes. Any questions from devotees about about this amazing class? Very nice, topic. Very nice question. Another question I have, mother, is we heard this morning's class, and you spoke a lot about following dharma, and it's very nice how you put it, because you said that dharma is actually given by the Lord, and it's orders of Krishna. But like you're mentioning, there are so many dharmas in this crazy material world. It's all been concocted. And because we live in Kali Yuga, where we see so many different so-called dharmas, that it affects one's mind. How will one know, mother, what is the dharma? Like I hear people ask, but what is my dharma? Because they're so confused. And then they hear from so many sources. What advice would you give them, mother?
If one, sticks to reading Srila Prabhupada's books only Srila Prabhupada's books. Why? Because that is what is recommended by Krishna. He says in chapter 4, Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshio Vidu. He says this knowledge is coming down in strict disciplic succession from Krishna himself. So the authenticity of the data is maintained. There are no speculations, additions, subtractions, or anything. The knowledge is as it is. So if one sticks to that, just read the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, as it is, Srila Prabhupada's books, then one will gradually, automatically understand. Srila Prabhupada's books are not rocket science, it's especially his purports are so very clear, so very simple, easy to understand. And when we do that in association of devotees, when we hear from senior devotees, then we, really understand it. And understanding doesn't come because of our endeavors. It comes when Krishna sees our sincere endeavors. Then he, bestows his mercy that we can understand. Understanding is not in our hands. You see, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam. He says, I give the intelligence, but to get that intelligence to understand, we have to follow instructions of Guru and Krishna. Satatam, Tesham Satatam, always, always. It's not that, we try to be Krishna conscious every morning from 8 to 9, and then we go back to Maya. No, it is all the time, Satatam. So when we try to understand in the association of devotees, following the parampara. I know, I remember there was this devotee, I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but there was this a devotee who had taken initiation, used to come to the Juhu temple, ISKCON Juhu temple, and we used to follow, everything. But then he thought that, why not I read some other books too? It'll be so nice. I will expand my what you call, like get some more knowledge. So then he started reading books from here, there, and everywhere. And he was told, even I told him, that please don't do that, because Krishna himself, he accepted a spiritual master when he came 5,000 years ago. Even when he came 500 years ago, he accepted a spiritual master, bona fide one in the disciplic succession. And that's what we need to follow. He didn't listen. And after a few months, he was gone. Why? Because we couldn't find him. He stopped coming to the temple. Even his spiritual master told him, don't read. Srila Prabhupada said, I have given everything that we need in his books. There's no need to look elsewhere. He's gone through all those tribulations. He has put together everything that is needed for us to go back to Godhead. He didn't listen, and then he disappeared. Why? Because he started, reading other books and having all those confusions and all. So he was gone. So it's very important that it is given, Krishna himself is given this dharma. He is the one who has given this knowledge, right? Krishna gave it to Brahma, to Narada, to Vyasa. It's come down. So we need to follow parampara. Otherwise, we can go haywire.
It's really sad, Mother, how devotees on their own, once they take initiation, once they feel that they have gotten the knowledge, and once they feel that, oh, I can add this one, nothing's going to happen to me. And next thing you know, it gets such a mess. It's really, really, really sad.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they start hearing classes or lectures from non-ISKCON devotees.
Mm-hmm.
And then they mix it up. It's really sad. Wow, amazing. Thank you, Mother.
Yeah.
Questions from devotees? Anything, please. Or even please do share a takeaway. I would love to hear someone's takeaway. Anybody that have a thought to share, a takeaway, anything that really struck them in this class, please do unmute yourself and say something, or put in the chat if you need it, and I can definitely read it out so that everyone else can hear and benefit from it. Seems like a quiet morning.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Step at home to business, just all glory to your Prabhupada. In the question section, when you were answering Madam Shriya, the Gita, the important point you made about having to stick with your Prabhupada's teachings and the fact that he made it so simple and easy to follow is a very, 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 very important point. I'm just saying that to kind of back or piggyback on it, on that particular statement. You hear the gurus that are speaking now, the gurus who are disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they will give several examples, but they won't stray from the points that Srila Prabhupada made. And this is why they themselves are able to be so effective. So if we stay with Srila Prabhupada's teachings, we are going to be all right. And the other point is, remember, a Vaishnava is supposed to chant 64 rounds, but by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, a minimum of 16 rounds, and we can go back to the spiritual world. So Srila Prabhupada represents so much mercy from the spiritual master. That's also another important point. So sometimes when I think about devotees going somewhere else, or going to other gurus, not in that same line, then I ask myself, well, do they allow us to chant 16 rounds and go back to way Srila Prabhupada has allowed? I don't know about that. So we have to be smart enough to stay safe in a line that ensures that we go back. The other point about Srila Prabhupada is that Lord Chaitanya predicted. He said, I'm teaching throughout India, but there will be someone that will practice the consciousness the whole world. And he was the one that did that. So all of these should be reasons to stay with Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada's teaching. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. Really appreciate all those wonderful points. When you were talking about, going astray, going somewhere else, I remember I used to preach to one lady in Mumbai. She used to attend the Bhagavad Gita classes. She attended just a few of them, and she started chanting 16 rounds, which was very inspiring, that quickly she started chanting. And then she moved to California, and I came to Atlanta. And it so happened one time when I was visiting India, I was in Juhu temple. I see her in the temple, in the Aarti, and I was so happy to see her. And we both were very happy. And so she told me, I got initiated. I got initiated. I said, oh, that is so nice. What is the name of your spiritual master? And she gave some Baba's name, some Baba from Vrindavan. And so I said, oh, okay. I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. And then, but I wanted to inquire. I said, oh, so then you must be, he must have asked you to follow the 4 regulative principles. She said, no, he said, I can smoke. And I'm like, oh, Krishna, okay, what about chanting? He said, you can chant whenever you have time. And I said, oh no. You see, that is the difference, that if we want a shortcut, if we want to still do the nonsense that we want to do, then definitely our mind will guide us to a guru outside of ISKCON. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but here is an example, and I was really shocked. And I tried to give her some knowledge, but she was very happy in whatever situation she was, and so unfortunately there was nothing I could do. So like Prabhupada says, those who have a desire to get a bona fide guru, they get one by Krishna's mercy. But those who are not, then they get other gurus. This is what Srila Prabhupada has said, that it all depends on our choice. We choose what do we want. We want, a bona fide knowledge, bona fide spiritual master. We have that sincerity, then Krishna will guide us and help us. So it's very, very important. I know I've heard many times that Srila Prabhupada also was very sad when some of his disciples were, going outside ISKCON, and he told them, I've given you everything. You don't need to look for anything outside. So, yeah.
Mother, as you were speaking, I was thinking about, school, right? Whenever a student takes a shortcut to do well in school, they don't do well in school. They will fail, they will flop, and they have to repeat the class whenever they try to cut short, whenever they try to skip classes, because of, whatever sense gratification reasons. I want to go here, I want to go there. And they don't, and then they don't follow the ethics or the conduct of the school. It's hard for them to finish one grade and get promoted. And I think it applies similar to our spiritual life, that we have to follow the principles to succeed in spiritual life, just like in the school, in college, we have to follow the teachers, whatever they tell us in order for us to do well in school. And and I think that, and what I've seen, Mother, is that it till today, it really baffles me, because I really don't understand, everyone that has gone through school and college, whatever, they know that they had to do well to finish school. And even when it comes to the material world, to find a job, they will do anything to get that promotion, right? But when it comes to spiritual life, they want the easy way out.
Yes.
I just don't understand why is that mentality that it just doesn't get me. I mean, I don't know why.
They don't want to perform austerity. They want to have, like they said, eat your cake and have it too. They want both, but that's not possible. Austerity is the very important part of Krishna consciousness. Waking up early in the morning, doing Mangal Arati, chanting rounds in the morning, hearing one Bhagavatam class, reading Srila Prabhupada's books every day, following 4 regulated principles, observing Ekadashi. So all this is dharma. That's what Prabhupada says. What I've given you is dharma, orders of Krishna.
So nice, mother. Yeah. And the bliss is, is that we have so many devotees that are with us, that we can do so many Krishna conscious activities together to make it so positive and enlivening and exciting, that it doesn't even, after some time, it doesn't even feel like it's work. It just feels like, oh, I can do it with this. If it becomes so joyful, that I was thinking, wow, this is so nice, especially from the young people we see today, as those who are born the movement, or those who grew up, like they really look forward to seeing their devotee friends so they can do Krishna conscious activities, and that is like their foundation of their life is that. And we have so much to learn from the young people also, to how to make our spiritual life so exciting and fun. Yeah, thank you so much, mother. Any questions from devotees? Any comments? Any takeaways? Any thoughts that you would like to share? You would like to, give, enlighten us with? Let me
Hare
see.
Krishna.
Please.
Gita, I'm sorry, I'm driving, so if I lose the contact, but I think the main reason people are, you said, take an easy way out, because I think of the association. I think when we associate with the similar minded people, we do better. And I think even in school, when the kids, they associate with the right crowd, I think they succeed better. But then, that's the reason they take shortcut. Because even in our regular life, like, people live far away, and I think the Zoom have made it so better for a lot of people to associate than they used to meet and not get in contact. So, like, I'm driving right now and I can listen to the whole lecture. That's called association. That's so important nowadays. So, thank you. I just wanted to give my input on that.
Thank you, Avni. She's from Atlanta.
Nice point.
Yeah, she's like my daughter.
No, that was a really nice point. And yes, I agree with you, Avni, because and you mentioned this very nice point, even in school, kids, if they want to do better, they will hang out with the smart kids. So they do better. And those that hang out with the so-called, naughty kids, they lose out. So yes, that's a very good point of Sadhu Sangha. And it's amazing how everything that we face in our Krishna consciousness, in our spiritual life, it all boils down to the right association.
And it also depends on our choice. I remember when my son, he got admitted to the school and he was in the first grade. And when I found out that there was this boy who was 1 year older than him, and he was in his class, and he used to get very good grades. So I told my son, associate with him. At that time, I wasn't Krishna conscious, but it was there subconsciously. I said, associate with him. And of course, he did what he wanted to do. So
that's a very good point, Mother. Yes, thank you, Avni, for bringing that up. That's a very good point in Sadhu Sangha. We have to find ways to enthuse ourselves, and we get enthused by devotee association. That is a very good point. Thank you for sharing that. Any other points from devotees? Any other questions? Any other comments? Takeaways? Okay, if there isn't, just want to remind devotees of our Bhagavad Gita circle tonight at 6 o'clock. Please do join us at 6 p.m. for our Bhagavad Gita circle, where we will be continuing chapter 3. Until then, have a wonderful day. Vancha kaptubhyascha kripasindovevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Mother Gita.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Colby.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Bolo.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.